Hey there, it's Carl McQuarrie. Welcome to Jerusalem. It's great to see y'all today on this beautiful day. So here we go, and y'all have had your shots, right? All around the area. All right, this is Jerusalem, and we'll talk a little bit about it. There we go. Well, come on in if you can. Yeah, it's Jerusalem. So the main question was, why is it called Jerusalem? It's not through any religious affiliation or particular bent. It's from the time I was very small, 5 or 6, my father had a friend named Dave, and Dave was his friend through the oil fields, through the military, through World War II, and they knew each other really well. So when I was really small, we'd go visit Kerrville, where Dave lived, and have supper. I was like 5 years old when we started having supper, and Dave would say to my father, "Mac, it's time to go to Jerusalem." And they would just hop up and disappear out the back door, and I thought, what the hell? Until I was like 11 years old, I didn't know if they were taking a plane to Jerusalem, or what the hell was going on. So when I was about 11, Dave said, "Well, Mac, I think it's time, Carl. It's all Jerusalem." And I was like, whoa. So we walk out the back door, and there was this really shitty old tool shed in the back. And I was like, because it said Jerusalem over the door in chalk. I assume it was chalk. And I went in, and it was just the usual nasty old workbench, 2 rotten old chairs, all the lawnmowers. It's where they went to drink beer. Yeah, I swore I too will have my own Jerusalem, and it took me half a century, but I got it, and here it is. So this is Jerusalem.
Beautiful.
Yeah, to Jerusalem.
And how have you been collecting the theme? People love to know where you get all of this stuff from.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not that organized. So, but it's really cool. There's a few neat details. All of the wall coverings, which you can't really see because of all the crap, are life drawings from students of the University of Texas from the earliest days of the art department in the 30s all the way through the 70s. And so that's what the walls are papered in. I collect University of Texas art, and I knew most of the faculty that was still alive during the time I was collecting, which has been, 25 years. Newsprint, the cheapest paper you could buy. So they've gotten very acidified and very crumbly, and I had a huge stack of them though, over a long time of collecting. And when I built this place, which is going to be 6 years old this year in November, which is crazy. When I built this place, they sheetrocked the walls and insulated and did all the electric and stuff, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And then I realized that would be perfect. So that's where all the life drawings went. They've been added to with other various things since that time. We have up here above the door, we have the headline wall, which is kind of fun. I'll let y'all guess which is my favorite headline. Anyway, so that's what that's about. And the drawings since that time have come from various places, but I mean there's actually some faculty members' drawings here too that were either damaged or ruined in other ways, and so I thought, well, we'll just stick them up here. So all the greats, not all the greats, but most of the greats have representation on the ceiling.
And these are professors at UT, or these are the students in classes?
For the most part,
Great.
Which was never supposed to survive, and so the professors would just kind of squirrel away the ones they thought were good, and that's what these are. But there's some professors themselves too. Anyway, it made a great wall covering, and then I covered it all up with crap. So yeah, that's the way that works. Aside from the question of like, why the hell do you have this room full of crap? It's where does it come from? And it comes from everywhere. Not so much from my estate sale business. I've done that for 30 years, but usually, I don't know if the estate sale stuff isn't cool enough, but it's very rare for somebody to come here from one of my sales. Like this painting, which is probably one of my favorite things ever. This was the first thing I saw, the first time I ever went to the Paris flea market. And she was just up on a fence, wasn't framed, and I was like, holy crap, you can't tell it, but come here, you, check the banana. She's winding up a wind-up phonograph, and she's naked, 2 of my favorite things. Naked and a wind-up phonograph. And the story I have told myself, she's a working girl. She's preparing the scene for her male companion of the evening. What I love about her is she's real. She's not some glossy, flat airbrushed girl. She's just real. But she has, I like to think that's perfume, but it could be gin. And there's her dress at her dressing table, and the weird flowers, and the over-rouged, cheeks and everything. I love that thing. So if you don't know how to speak French, which I didn't at that time, I can barely speak it now. I can get in trouble, and I can order food. Other than that, pretty terrible. If you've never tried to ship something home from France, you don't know how to say the word carton, or you don't know how to say packing or tape, you're kind of screwed. But we worked it out, and it came. They just jammed it in a box, put it through the French post, and it arrived very shortly after, like less than a week after.
Amazing. Did you have to unfurl it and reframe it?
No, it was shipped stretched.
Wow.
Yeah, which was kind of amazing. Oh, and did I mention, during that time, there had just been the biggest art theft in Paris ever from the Louvre, and getting art out of the country was a little tricky.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, but here she is.
Tell us about all these books.
Oh, the books. The Library of Congress is what we call that. These did come from estates. This is all the erotica and not really porn, but all the erotica and the naughty business. I can't sell at estates, so I'll just buy it, and so there it is. Oh man, it's really terrible.
There's not a market at that for the estate sale crowd.
You know, say your grandpa had a big pile of this, you wouldn't really want the world to know, and the clients would be like, "Oh, throw that away." Oh, okay, sure. So there it is. It's all harmless.
That's great. Whatever grandpa had in his closet.
Jeez Louise. And they're also clever. You know, the estate liquidator, first of all, sees everything.
Yeah.
There are no secrets. And if you think you've hidden it really well, because you know, no stone is unturned. So that's how we discovered it. There's 13 clocks in Jerusalem. Some people don't even, when they're here, they don't even remember seeing a clock. So I don't know what
So
happens.
if everyone watching us at home, count the 13 for us.
There's 13 clocks. And one of them's like, 7 feet tall, so I don't know how they missed that one. Well, it's always 4:20 in Jerusalem.
Got it hidden here. We'll give you this one for free.
That's ancient. That's a really old timepiece. Of course, they're all really old.
There's a cuckoo clock as well.
Yeah.
And then how does something make its way in here? How do you actually determine this should be added?
This is so weird. But it talks to me. It tells me. It says, this would look really great. And all the rest of the crap says, there's no room. Stay home. But we've reached capacity, which is a little hard to believe. Oddly enough, very recently the whole place was emptied.
Oh, wow.
For cleaning and that kind of thing. But it was to add these second tier of shelves all the way around.
And is this a hidden door back here, or?
This is Party Girl. She's a Michael Frary painting. It was given to me by Mrs. Frary. So, when you look at her, you're like, oh, it's just a painting on the wall.
Yeah.
Then there's a special opening procedure, which I'll skip for you. But you just open the door and it's a little sleeping alcove with 2 beds.
And this is available on Airbnb for $500 a night?
It's available for not being able to drive yourself home. That's usually the fee. Originally, Jerusalem was just this one room, and I added this on about 4 months later. Because I found myself over-serving my guests, or underestimating their ability to process it.
That's right.
And so it got really tiring carrying them into the house. So we had to build a place for them to sleep. It's not quite that complicated, but it's kind of that complicated.
And is there a Jerusalem 2 now that this is full?
No, but I am considering something. I'm not sure what.
All right, so where are we going now?
We're going to the Grotto.
Okay.
Because, if you collect things, as I might do, you collect a lot of weird rocks. And you have a big rock pile, and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with this big rock pile?
Right. Needs a home.
Let's make a grotto. So that's what happened here. So it's the grotto, and me and a guy named Jose put it together, which was really incredibly fun. We're thinking of something else to make too. But so there's a lot of my friends gave me rocks and things and bits and pieces, and so they know which ones are theirs, and I do too, and they can kind of see themselves in the grotto. This guy, when he gets really wet, he turns green. We call him the Green Man because he has algae embedded in him.
Oh.
Came from a house called the Chateau over at 18th and Red River. Anyway, he also has a new nose because his nose had lost itself in the sands of time. So anyway, the grotto's pretty cool. This is significant. This is Woodrow Wilson, for those of you who are too young to know. They apparently quit teaching Woodrow Wilson about 10 years after I got out of school because the 30-year-olds, who's this? Of course, for me, it was always, who's this? It's Woodrow Wilson. They would ask me who this is. It was always Justin Timberlake. So it's kind of a cultural
That's right.
age group
A flip-flop.
thing. Yeah, flip-flop, yeah. My friend Jill gave me these. The big hand of god up there is actually a child's bronzed glove.
Oh wow, it's beautiful.
I've never seen a glove before. I've seen shoes and hats and
Yeah.
shirts and all that kind of
Little
stuff.
tiny footprints, and put your hand in some clay,
Exactly.
but not a.
False teeth. Creepy porcelain dolls.
Yes, we love those at the Weird Homes Tour. They're some of our favorites.
This one up there, bless her.
Oh my gosh.
There may or may not have been a little fire in the grotto not too long ago. Turns out the central figure was not made of plaster, but was made out of something incredibly flammable, as it turns out. So that's why.
This is a trigger warning for creepy tiny dolls. If you need it, folks at home,
Just brace yourself.
just brace yourself.
You need to come on back, because the back is a little bit front. I'm very good friends with Sharon Smith, who's
Yes.
on the Weird Home Store. One of the
Yes, we
best.
love Sharon.
Sharon's amazing. And so she provided this, which apparently was a student leftover in the trash pile,
Oh my gosh.
and so it worked out really well.
And so,
Oh, kitty.
do you consider yourself an artist, a collector? Where do you fall on the spectrum? Somewhere.
I'm on the spectrum, that's right. Sure. I am, they say that, collage is an art, and so there's some collage in there. I might as well call myself an artist. I know a couple of people who picked up a camera and decided to call themselves a photographer. So
Sure,
I
absolutely.
am now an artist, I guess. More autistic than artistic. But there's Lava Kitty. She's really cool. This old garden archway did come from an estate sale, but it was broken and scattered about like it had been blown up with a bomb. And the grotto kind of needs an entrance. So
That's great.
anyway, the gates were kind of busted as hell, and Ernie's weld on Burnett Lane fixed them up.
Huh.
What else you want? So
All right.
here, this is what we call quarantine corner. It's been really rough not having people over for more than a year. And so when they do visit, and they do, we sit here and wave at each other from 8 feet away. Oh, the letters. My name's Carl McQuarrie, and so CM does make sense. Those were on top of the old Brackenridge. University
wow.
Medical Center Brackenridge.
How'd you get those?
Well,
Surplus auction, or
Sure, yeah,
you knew someone who knew someone?
I knew someone who knew someone, but also I was kind of in charge of saving anything historical or interesting when they're taking the building apart. Now it's almost down. So yeah, up on the roof, you didn't really notice how big they were. So there's the CM of University Medical Center.
Yeah.
I have a thing for blue bottles too. When I was very small, in Vinson, Oklahoma, where my grandmother lived, she was a Methodist preacher back in those days. When I was very small, she lived in Vinson, Oklahoma, and there was a lady across the way who had an actual spirit tree and really believed that these blue bottles would ward away the spirits. Apparently the spirits are kind of dumb at that point. They'll fly up in the bottle and not know how to get out.
Ah, I had not heard that before.
Yeah, so we take our chances. I want to take y'all to the pool area now. Well, here you go. Because
Good to know for those of you at home.
don't come on by. Anyway, the pool is actually a stock tank with a heater. so I'll tell you. If you don't have a stock tank with a heater, you need one.
This is the hot quarantine item, I'm sure.
It's, oh man. You can accommodate 3. 4 if you don't want to breathe. Please admire my pool cover. It's actually a plasticized tablecloth. Nothing but the finest. But I mean, it's hot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sorry. Spend a lot of time in there. Look at the lizard. Hello. On the very top rock, the blue lizard.
Oh yeah. Joining us today. Here.
This is the Chan Garden.
Yes, they're fantastic. Your audio may be a little chimey in the background.
But when the wind blows, which is most every day, that's my bedroom on the other side.
Ah. What's this shrine here?
Just a little shrine, yeah, to various people. A collection of paperweights, some of which glow in the dark, which is really unique. Hello. So this is the living room, and the dining room, and the piano room. Here's some of the collection. University of Texas faculty from about 1940 until the 70s.
And how are you finding this?
Well, you don't anymore. When I first started collecting, no one wanted it at all. Why would you want that old crazy stuff? And so since that time, I've helped it become popular again, which yeah, makes it hard for me to collect now. But these are all the masters of University of Texas. So.
And these were professors
of art at the university during what I consider the golden age. Basically the first 30 years.
Beautiful. And how long have you been collecting these?
How old am I? I guess about 30 years now.
Okay.
But that grouping, the orange one's the only one that's not University of Texas. That's Dick Ray down in Houston. But Ward Lockwood, the circus clown with the tattooed lady, he was one of the founders of the Department of Art
Oh, wow.
at UT.
It's amazing.
That's Ralph White. Mrs. White just passed away. Ruby, his wife. And here in the hallway, a few of the Kelly Fearings. He taught art education at the University of Texas for a long time.
And these are from the 1930s and 40s as well?
40s for the most part, up into the 60s too.
Okay.
He was very prolific.
Yeah, the snake's amazing.
Frottage, yeah.
And do people have trouble knowing who that is
Kelly Fearing?
as well? Our friend Teddy.
Teddy Roosevelt, yeah, no.
That's good.
People know. There's also some non-University of Texas. Smash, like Waymond Adams. I love this guy. Don't know who he is, but he's very jolly.
This was a portrait painted of him?
Portrait painter. Well, actually, it was painted by Waymond Adams.
Ah, okay.
Portrait by Waymond Adams. Very prolific painter. He died in '59. If you've ever been to the Headliners Club, at the very end of the hall, they have the faded actress in her grand costume and everything. So that was painted by him as well.
I have to look for that next time. And who's this lovely couple here?
This lovely couple is a complicated story. Don Snell, who went to UT, prolific painter, painted in the nude. His first wife painted that couple. So that's as much story as I have with that. Very happy to get it.
And it's almost like a block, or
It's mounted on
it's like a 3D.
Kind of a 3D effect.
Very cool.
He wears a scarf because he gets a little cold. All right, we'll come in here. The guest bedroom.
Beautiful.
Light on if you need it. Also, University of Texas. Frankly, this little bedroom, one of my favorites, but the bathroom is the ideal. Get this fan out of the way. It's a teeny tiny half bath, but it's one of my favorite. It's the favorite room in this house.
This bathroom is?
This little bathroom. Don't
Oh,
understand
wow.
why, but take a look. It's kind of crazy.
Well.
Which was supposed to be out before then, but you know. This is also by Don Snow.
That is?
No, this is.
Oh, this
This is by the Satano family in
It's beautiful.
Mexico. He's one of the masters of the Tree of Life. The aquatic ones are unusual, but not unheard of. That's a great one. I love the clams. That's also by Don Snell. Don Snell was worthy of a documentary. He was something else.
Taxidermy is so popular right now.
It's so popular.
It's crazy.
There's two, yes.
So for those of you listening at home, you can hear those amazing wind chimes in the back. And look at this headboard. Amazing. Taxidermy. Sustainable.
That's great. That'd be great.
Great.
Did you tell?
I did. Where are we off to now?
I didn't know the piano. We don't know there.
This is the sunroom, or
Sunroom. I just wanted to show you a couple weird things. This is one of my favorite things.
what is that?
Sawtooth shark nose.
Very cool.
Sharp as hell, like you see in the cartoons.
Yeah, right, where they saw something in half.
Turns out each tooth is also a bundle of nerves. It's one of the ways they do directional finding.
Wow.
Yeah. All local pottery. This is Don Heron.
Don Heron.
Don Heron.
Very cool. And who's
She's down near Beaumont. This is all Michael Frey, that big long one, Montana. That's Dan Lutz. He's Southern California and was Michael Frey's mentor. He taught him at university.
very cool.
Southern California. The Dollhouse.
And what is the
The Dollhouse was made in '69 by a very loving grandfather for his granddaughter.
and was this an estate sale find?
This was an estate sale find from one of my colleagues.
It's amazing. Can you open the side, or does it not open anymore?
It's a giant disaster. I don't like this house.
Well, where's the weird dollhouse tour? I gotta go.
You know, this
buy
one's
that
going to be plenty
URL
weird when
and-
it's done.
Are you actively working on it?
It's going to start as soon as I have a free moment, which will be 2000 never.
Very cool. I love the shingles
The shingles are amazing.
on the roof. That's insanity. And for those of you at home, there's shingles missing, showing you that they're actual shingles. It's not some just plate they put on the top. That's
Deferred
amazing.
maintenance. Deferred maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. This even this house in Austin is it's 200 grand for those of you not watching.
Your very small friends who live there.
You're very small friends. I believe we got
You did a great video.
yeah, a great video of that, which is very cool. Which is a player piano, is that correct?
Piano player.
Piano player.
66 little mysterious fingers. Playing
'Cause-
an electric piano.
Yeah, because it's actually
You can shove it up to any piano.
and
It'll play.
play, which is amazing.
1904 was kind of before they completely figured out putting the internal mechanism inside a piano.
So you would wheel this up, feed it sheet music, and it would play the piano for you.
It's got the standard piano rolls, except this one only plays 66 notes as opposed to the real ones which play 88.
Got it. And this is from 1904.
1904. They produced it for a
amazing.
few years. But
Do you have to upgrade it or keep it, like how hard is it to just keep it working?
keeping it working is a little challenging because, you know, the bellows. It's been restored several years ago, but it was found in a chicken coop in Maine at the house where it was bought new. But, you know, in the 40s, they just put it in the chicken coop because they were very thrifty. And
Sure, we'll get back to
there
that.
it was. And so that buffet behind you is full of the 300 other rolls,
Oh my gosh.
which is crazy.
Will you open that and show us the... So these are 300 rolls of music. Oh my gosh. And you,
It's like your CD collection only.
yeah, are these on eBay? Did they all come at once? Like, how does
Came with the
one?
machine.
300 rolls came with the
Came
machine.
with the machine. Well, it's kind of hard to find them because they are 66 note. And
Yeah.
we're not producing huge numbers like others. This is one of my longest possessions right here, though. It's the Victor 5 talking machine. Also from 1904, coincidentally, that wasn't planned. I got this when I was 15.
Wow.
Painted orange with texture paint in a box. And it was the first really thing that I ever restored. It's a little loud.
Si parte per i monti o per il mare, si parte per andarci a riposare, si giura di tener ben chiuso il cuore, ma poi siamo tutti presi dall'amore.
Why do you think it's so loud compared to?
It's amazing. It's where this term "stuff a sock in" it came from.
There,
In the early days, there was no volume control.
there you go.
Because you wanted as much volume as you could get.
TIL today I learned. Stuff a sock in it. It's beautiful. You did a great job restoring it.
It's aged well. The Victor company is, RCA Victor. They weren't RCA Victor till much later, but the little dog is named Nipper. He was a real dog, and the Swedish painter who painted that picture originally is the dog listening to the machine, his master's voice. That's what he did for the rest of his life.
Wow.
He sat around and painted the same damn picture. Because all the dealers throughout America, it was a huge corporation, huge company
Yeah.
in Camden, New Jersey. And so when he died, they buried him there on the plant grounds.
Oh my
so you
gosh.
can still visit Nipper's grave. In my world, in the estate world, china cabinets are what we affectionately refer to as boat anchors, because no one has room for a china cabinet, or they already have one. So this one came available and was left after the sale, and I made a deal with the lady to buy it, and it's the perfect size. It's also hindered on. That probably doesn't mean a lot to most people, or to anyone really these days, but anyway, so it's kind of a Wunderkammer of really weird things.
Real human skull?
Yeah, and I found this humorous.
Oh, wow. Wow, everybody.
Oh, brother.
Put that in the comments below.
The pottery is by Paul Hatgill, who was kind of the founder of the ceramics department in UT.
Oh, very cool. Another University of Texas find.
Yeah, it's all University of Texas, all the stuff. That one won a big prize in Oklahoma.
You want to open that cabinet and I'll...
You've probably never seen pottery in Oklahoma, but in those days, so won a prize. Paul just died not too long ago. He was one of the last remaining original faculty members.
It's beautiful.
He lived to like 96 or something.
Wow.
In his whole entire career at UT and beyond, he only produced maybe 1,000 pots. They still turn up from time to time. The one on the very back is also Dick Ray from Houston, but the rest of them are pretty much all Paul Hatgill. Oh, and there's a couple little pieces of Harding Black from San Antonio.